All right, you guys. So we're going to continue part 2. So sociopathic toxic feminines are highly jealous, and their envy is to a level where if you just trigger something in them that they have not wanted to deal with, or if they see, oh shit, I see you doing that and I'm not doing this, and you're there and I'm there, basically comparison. They will compare the shit. They will compare everything that you do to what they do. And if you do a lot, they will feel depleted and empty. So they will purposely target you so that they can basically take you down. Now, sociopathic toxic feminines are definitely going to watch your body language. They're going to watch your triggers. They're going to get close to you to really understand how it is that you operate, what makes you tick. Okay? They're going to pay attention to things that you are very near and dear to so they can see how to acquiesce to it. Okay? And this is like, we're familiar with toxic masculines, but when that Freudian slip tells me toxic femininity has been around, but it's much more potent because no one fucking knows about it. Okay, now when you start on what a toxic feminine will do, especially a sociopathic one, they'll make sure they have a high standing in society. They'll make sure they look a certain way so that they can, appear to be like, something that's something. You know how it's very sneaky. It's just very subtle energy. It's like when I'm trying to find a way to explain it. It's like you never see it coming, and it comes up to you and it seems like it's natural. And this type of energy would have studied you for quite some time, only to basically cause you conflict by having you basically doubt yourself. They'll start like little things like, you sure you want to do that? I mean, it looks nice. And you're like, yeah, why not? I mean, it's very different. It's very different. It's very cool. And they'll be doing all these little shots, basically planting seeds of self-doubt that if you stay around them long enough, you'll be like, I don't know if I should do that. And then they'll try to act like, well, what do you think about that? Just to test how much self-doubt is in you. Because there's a certain level of self-doubt that they're going to register as, this is the part where I start creating psychosis in the person. This is where they're going to start doing crazy making shit to you. Okay? A lot of divine feminines and toxic masculines have experienced this as well. So toxic masculines learn this from very sociopathic toxic feminines. The crazy making shit. Most of us like to think it originates from toxic masculines. No, this originates from toxic feminines because self-doubt is caused most of the time by comparison, okay? And once you get a certain level, the toxic feminine will start to be like crazy making. During this time, this divine, well, I was going to say divine feminine, but they're going to be taking on your persona. They're going to be taking on your divinity. So all this while you're starting to self-doubt yourself and feel like there's something wrong with me, or I'm having confusion, I'm having indecision, this is where they're going to be taking on your identity. And they're going to be playing both sides of the field. They're going to tell other people. They're going to start spreading your business and painting the narrative that something's wrong with you, all the while acting as if they're a very supportive friend. This is for people that you might be interested in getting to know, because they know if they come off a little too aggressive in the beginning, this is going to be a red flag to these people that they're highly jealous and toxic of you. So they're going to do the same thing, planting little seeds of self-doubt about your character, all while continuing to, plant seeds in you like, yes, I'm here for you, but I want you to have such extreme self-doubt. Now, this is the people that you're trying to get to know. These people are going to definitely try to go above and beyond to infiltrate whoever it is you know. This is signs of possessiveness, okay? Now, this is the other side of the coin, where you have people that they know are highly jealous of you too, and they ain't got to do that much work. All they got to do is come up and be like, this said individual is doing such and such, and I have a plan that we can do to sabotage this person. So you're going to be getting hit from both sides, so that, if you are, not aware of what's going on, because this, silence, nurturing energy is just sneaking in, covering up the manipulation, you really have to pay attention, because sociopathic toxic feminines are just as rampant as toxic masculines. In fact, toxic masculines learn from toxic feminines. This is why you'll have a bunch of toxic masculines who are parading around and doing a whole bunch of toxic feminine shit while trying to act as if they are divine masculines, because they were severely hurt by a sociopathic toxic feminine. So when they get, their hands on somebody who they can basically, like an empath, where they can put this trauma into them, they're to a toxic feminine and a toxic masculine who targets a empath is not going to tell you this, but they are afraid of meeting someone just like them. This is why they always come in and have this fake persona that they're these empathic individuals, but really, you got to be careful with these people, because they roaming a mile a minute out in this bitch. So while they're increasing the crazy making, and because my mother used to ask me, are you taking your medicine? And this was when I was trying to sort through this trauma I was experiencing, because not only was I around fake friends and I was in a toxic relationship again, but also my mother had been really basically trying to get me to come over to her house so much and see me. And this is when I was starting to really understand, I'm really curious about the world. My family's born, everybody's fucking born. Let me understand myself. So I was starting to change, and the same tactics that she used to, psychologically manipulate me with wasn't working. So when I was starting to get to a place of clarity, to interrupt that clarity, she would ask me, are you taking your medicine? And she did this tactic so often. I remember when I would bring up to her about the severe, put that in there, the severe child abuse that she subjected me to. And she would, try to take on this persona like she really was feeling bad. She would be like, I do feel bad about that. I wish I hadn't done that. And then we would go on to these new topics where, she would try to cover her tracks and she would offer me something. So that right there, here we go to it. Sociopathic toxic feminines. They're planning something when they're offering you something. Think about it. Why would I be offering you something? It's a fucking trap. It's to guilt trip you. See, feminine energy knows everything is run by emotions. Insecure men are going to buy the latest trend that, feminines seem to be fiending over, right? So, toxic feminines are highly great at emotional abuse. They are going to abuse the shit out of you. And this is going to be more rapid in divine masculines, because the world has already said to divine masculines, don't express your emotions. So if a divine masculine tries to explain something that can't be seen, and if they're surrounded by people who are not up, in their caliber, these people are going to support the toxic feminine. Okay, you will hear about a lot of divine masculines. I was about to say feminines, but divine masculines getting jumped by people and things like that. It is because you had a sociopathic toxic feminine crying crocodile tears. You know what he did to me, and for the most part, it works. So we have to take into consideration, not only are toxic masculines out here fucking shit up, it's these sociopathic toxic feminists fucking shit up. Now, their game of obsession is beyond anything a toxic masculine would do. However, if you have dealing with a toxic masculine, a sociopathic toxic masculine at that, who is in his toxic feminine energy, well, you able to experience both sides of the motherfucking coin. And my oldest daughter's father, William Oscar Green Jr., he meets the motherfucking mark, honey. Let me tell you. So when you understand who you dealing with and what you dealing with, you have to create a safety plan. Because people in this energy, not only are they stalkerish, they're consistently sending people out to hurt you. You have to change the way you move, and there's nothing wrong with that. Lighten your load, because these people look at life as a chess game. Basically, the people that hurt them, they're too afraid to confront them. But they want to, hurt an empath. A lot of toxic feminists, they love to target empaths, especially feminists, because it shows in them, I need to compete. You gonna take all the men. Honey, you can take that toxic ass masculine any motherfucking day, or feminine if that's where you roll. You can take all that toxic fuck shit. Don't nobody want that. Go ahead, take them. But see, when you know your value, people want you and choose you over that person. So this is where you have people who don't even know you will basically be evil-eyeing the shit out of you and just doing a whole lot of toxic, obsessive shit. Now, toxic feminine energy is much more potent than toxic masculine energy. That is why toxic masculines use toxic feminists to do death spell work. So this is where you're going to have to make sure you are doing your shadow work, keeping your chakras balanced. Because right now, think about it. Noah in the Bible, the world was so wicked, God was like, I'm about to flood this place. And Noah came to deliver a message. And Noah delivered it. And it looked as if the people changed. But then it didn't change because it got back worse. So we are in these times where, due to lack of self-discipline and people being forced to hold themselves accountable, you got a whole bunch of fucking sociopaths running around doing a whole bunch of sociopathic shit and basically abusing the law. And you have to be able to communicate effectively so that you can get your justice. You have to be able to communicate effectively, because these people are going to try their best to look as if that person does not know what they're talking about. These sociopaths are masters at looking as if there's something that they're not. This is where Spirit is saying connect to your spirit guides, because justice is going to happen But you need to know how to prepare for it, because these sociopaths are copying you to a fucking T. This is how crazy they are.